Thank you for joining us again and welcome back to our channel. If you are joining for the first time, we appreciate your time as always. The moment has come when Africa must start selecting partners based on performance. The period has passed that the continent of Africa will engage strategic partners as a result of their colonial relationship. Now, African countries must select partners that has proven beyond reasonable doubt that they are out there in the partnership to support the country and make sure that they can win in the relationship that they are in at the moment. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because over the past decades and centuries, some nations across the region have been engaged in colonial partnerships that have not proven to be on the successful path. However, irrespective of your position, irrespective of your perception of them, irrespective of your particular geostrategic perception of this particular country, one partner has continued economically to prove beyond reasonable doubt that they are a partner to work with, and that is China. They have delivered from roads, bridges, dams, airports, you name the rest. All of this has gone a long way to transform and support and completely change the lives of a number of African citizens and nationals beyond reasonable doubt across the board in the continent of Africa. Why is this relevant? It is relevant because the continent of Africa is at the crossroad at the moment. It's making some important choices to emphasize as the citizens and nationals are beginning to pay closer attention on their geostrategic partners like never before seen. At this moment, China has again once more proven that it can deliver A-class projects across the region. At this moment, China has delivered an incredible project and consider the bridge that it built in one of the countries in the continent of Africa. At that particular project, it was a moment where those nationals and citizens in those countries will never forget as a result of the partnership that their own country and government have with the country of China.
And we want to just say thank you for the government and the people of China, because we've seen that since they started becoming part of our project construction management and funding in this part of the world, we've seen a serious change in terms of the time that the projects take, in terms of the defect liability period. In a long time, defect liability period used to be a major issue between the government and the contractors, but we've seen the Chinese companies making sure that they obey and respect defect liability period. They stay on site until and when that period elapses.
Why is this relevant? It is relevant because the continent of Africa is tired of military bases and, more importantly, talking about immigration. These are times when countries engage geostrategic partners to deliver projects for them and work on a win-win partnership. It is important to know that the continent of Africa is tired of this particular back and forth where they go alongside geostrategic relationships that do not provide to them the resources that they need in terms of their own support. No particular relationship will move forward if they do not understand the fundamentals of the other side's own challenges and difficulties. African nations do require partners that can provide them the technical capacity, the know-how, the modernization, the infrastructural growth that they need at this time. However, despite their accusations, despite their shortfall in other areas, China has continued to deliver in a woeful number of areas. Let's play this clip from the CGTN television station and we will jump into more specifics. Let's roll the clip.
This was once the Makupa Causeway, characterized by traffic snarl-ups, road rage and accidents. Built in 1929 by British colonialists, the causeway cut the free flow of seawater between two creeks surrounding the island. In 2018, UNESCO threatened to delist Mombasa as an island city if the causeway was not demolished, prompting the Kenyan government to commission the construction of the Makupa Bridge. 4 years later, the $42.1 million 457-meter bridge restored its treasured island city status and brought new levels of convenience to people's lives.
I remember sometimes school children could miss classes because of this bridge. I remember when truckers with cargo loaded or truckers going to port to load their cargoes could spend nights in Makupa Causeway. So I would say that it's a huge impactful project for the people of Mombasa, and we've seen even the impact that this facility has had on the businesses that are along the highway.
It used to take 3 to 4 hours for drivers to access the main city of Mombasa, but right now it's taking only 10 minutes. And the SGR line is being extended to the main city's railway terminal to ease the pressure that the bridge is already experiencing, courtesy of the numbers that are coming in to the main city of Mombasa. Colin Sayeko is a businessman based in the coastal city, dealing in general supplies and tourism. He has witnessed a big transition in his fortunes following the bridge's construction. Not only is it a massive time saver, but he's also using less fuel for more efficient deliveries.
So apart from just saving on fuel, I've gotten more clients. Now people can easily come to Mombasa, you see, and because they are not afraid of the traffic jam or the high costs of transport which were there, they can easily come and shop for themselves. Yeah. So also we've seen increased sales. Just apart from saving on fuel and time, we've seen increased sales. And remember, I also told you I also have a business on deal with the tourism industry. We've seen now a lot of guests, even local tourists, they're coming in.
Meanwhile, the bridge has also reduced the time from Mombasa Airport to the island. Key points in the city, like the port and tourist destinations, are more accessible, and the seawater is now flowing freely, which has revived the marine ecosystem. According to the county government, the workmanship, professionalism, and turnaround time during the construction was second to none.
The continent of African nationals have come to the realization and the point that democracy is important, but it does have its own shortfall regards the challenges that the continent of Africa face. If you look at the infrastructural development across the region, China has proven that it is a force to be reckoned with in a whole lot of areas. If you go back to history, consider how the continent of Africa was looted regards to colonialism in a number of areas. The continent continued to pick itself gradually to ensure that it can become more competitive in a number of ways. Prior to the pandemic, Africa was considered to be the continent that was having some of the fastest growing economy. But post-pandemic and the challenges and economic impact that it has had in a number of countries across the region, this is not something that can be talked about. So in these regards, China, despite its previous investment in the continent of Africa, has continued recently coming back so strong to engage infrastructural development that is having direct positive impact in the lives of citizens across the continent of Africa, which is beyond reasonable doubt. This infrastructure has made development, has transformed the lives of the people of these communities, and the impact cannot be emphasized with regards to this particular moment when the continent of Africa trying to work alongside other countries within the region, and without connectivity, without infrastructural development, without the free movement of people, nothing can be realized. China saw that particular situation as it can see itself in the continent of Africa's own development, considering that China was in the same situation a couple of decades ago where Africa is. For that reason, China has come out clear to identify and pinpoint those projects that can re-energize and transform the life of African people. Let's play this clip.
The last time I was in the Republic of Congo was 10 years ago, and in that time there's been quite a number of changes in the country. The population of the capital city Brazzaville has grown markedly. Currently, at least over a third of the country's population resides here in Brazzaville. But perhaps the most significant change is the road network connecting the capital city to the country's economic hub, Port Nord.
This road, known as the #1 national highway, is regarded as a gem by the Congolese. The 535-kilometer-long highway starts from the port city Port Nord on the Atlantic coast and links key cities along the way, finally reaching the capital Brazzaville, which is the main economic artery of the country. But it wasn't always the dreamed road that it's known to be. In the 1980s, this was just a dirt road. Dense forests and difficult terrain created obstructions. Commuting between the two major cities became a nightmare, directly affecting businesses. The limited transport capacity restricted the flow of people and goods domestically and between the country and its neighbors. Transport providers such as this bus company struggled to stay afloat.
The road was very bad, especially from Efini to Ngo. It was unusable. People used to spend nights there in Ngo. That's where the road was very, very bad. When it rained, it was very difficult to pass. We had a lot of breakdowns on the way. It was very difficult.
The road was very degraded to such an extent that we could not leave one point to another easily. From here to Oyo, it took us the whole day. During the rainy period, there were even buses that got into accidents.
In 2006, under the Forum of China-Africa Cooperation and the Belt and Road Initiative, China and the Republic of Congo signed an agreement that would ultimately change not only Congo's landscape, but also the lives of the people. The construction of the #1 national highway began. It became the largest infrastructure project in the history of China-Congo cooperation.
Actually, it was a road quite full of challenge. I mean, why all the other foreign companies didn't make it, because the technical problems, we say difficulties, was beyond imagination, because this road traverses different landforms. Like this is the plateaus, and along the way we will have the grassland, we will have swamps, we will have primitive forests, and all different kinds of hydrologies.
The challenges went beyond technical difficulties. The team often lacked supplies such as water and were forced to collect rainwater from the forests. Many construction workers contracted malaria and typhoid, some falling seriously ill. The rainy season, which lasts half a year in the Congo, would turn the terrain into a mud trap. After 8 long years, the highway was completed.
We don't give up because this road conveys so much hope and opportunities for the Congolese population. And we Chinese people, we have experienced poverty in our history not long before. So we know what it means if we have a proper road to develop our economy.
The highway has indeed contributed to the economic development of the country. Trading centers have mushroomed all along the road. Goods now easily move between Brazzaville and Pointe-Noire, including many towns in between.
Whether you agree or you disagree with China, China has made some incredible projects in terms of the bridges that have built across the continent of Africa. China has played a significant role in constructing major infrastructural projects across Africa, including bridges that enhance connectivity and support economic development, like I've pointed out. Some of those notable bridges are, for example, the Maputo-Katembe Bridge in Mozambique, that's located in Maputo Bay and connecting Maputo to Katembe. It is a suspension bridge and is just over 3,000 meters high. Opened in November of 2018, built by Chinese Road and Bridge Corporation and financed by Chinese Exim Bank. After its completion, it was Africa's longest suspension bridge, significantly reducing travel time across that particular bay. If you look at the Unity Bridge in Mozambique to Tanzania, it's located in the Ravuma River at the Nangamano, and also it's about 720 meters high. It was completed in May of 2010 and built by Chinese Geoengineering Corporation. The purpose was to facilitate cross-border trade and travel between Mozambique and Tanzania, boosting regional integration. These are amazing times across the region, and Africa is trying to connect itself across the borders, making sure that trade can move. These are relevant infrastructure development that Africa needs. There are a number of challenges across the region, no doubt, but partners that will continue to work with African countries in terms of infrastructure development and growth will make sure that they can reap the benefits. If you are engaging the continent of Africa from the condescending perspective, from the paternalistic approach, it will be a challenge across the region. Africa is tired at this moment talking about military bases and some other infrastructure that does not have any particular impact in terms of their growth and development. These are the difficulties. Irrespective of your position, China has demonstrated over and over that it is a force to reckon with when it comes to emerging development and infrastructure across the continent of Africa.
Business was weak, but since the national road was built, business is growing here. We sell more than before. Goods move faster and we benefit a lot.
For me, I feel proud to have such a gift in Congo that we did not have before, and businesses have opened up. It has also offered employment to many people. More young people got employed on this #1 national highway. There are more than 700 people who were recruited.
Strict adherence to traffic rules and weight limits is observed to maintain the quality of the road. The maximum tonnage allowed on this highway is 50 tons.
The #1 national highway has facilitated traffic and reduced commuting time between Brazzaville and Port-Noir from at least 7 days to just 8 hours. The traffic volume has increased from around 160 vehicles per day to more than 4,000. The country's imports and exports of important minerals and resources happens through this highway to Port-Noir.
The country of China has answered Africa's call in terms of its infrastructure, not just roads, not just bridges, not just dams, not just airport, not just waterway, not just highway. It is enormous what China has done so far. Are the Chinese 100%? Not at all. They do have their flaws and their own weaknesses, but that's the game. If you look at Africa's countries' investment and development that have been taken from the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, and other international finance corporations that are investing in the continent of Africa, this also comes with a huge impact in terms of Africa repayment and loans. These are emerging times. I would say that it's more important to have roads and bridges. It's important to give resources out and have more roads and bridges that can move people alongside and let those guys work and make the money to pay back for the loan, than to an extent to have individuals or corporations that can continue to steal the natural resources. Let me know in the comment section what you think regards to Chinese involvement in the continent of Africa, considering infrastructural wise, bridges and roads and everything that they have built so far. The list is long, but at the moment, we want to thank you for watching. We will be looking forward to meeting you soon in our next episode. Have a good day. Bye-bye.